As our penultimate carol in this Advent devotional series, I've chosen the Coventry Carol, which contains these words. Herod the king, in his raging, charged he this day his men of might in his own sight, all young children to slay. In the Gospels, the movement that leads directly to Jesus' death begins in his final days, when the chief priests and the elders gather and plot in order to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him. However, the shadow of untimely death hung over Jesus for some time before that. According to John, the Jews sought to kill Jesus from an early stage in his public ministry. As soon as Luke 13:31, Jesus was warned by the Pharisees, "Herod wants to kill you." This Herod in Luke was Herod Antipas, the son of King Herod the Great, and it was this latter Herod the king who orchestrated the very first attempt to kill Jesus, which of course happened very shortly after his birth. Herod the Great was the ruler of the Roman province of Judea from 37 to 4 BC. He's known to history as a violent and bloodthirsty tyrant who killed 3 of his own sons, as well as countless others during his reign. In Matthew's Gospel, Herod tells the wise men to return to him after they've found Jesus in Bethlehem, but the wise men are warned in a dream not to return to Herod, and so they follow a different route home. Herod believes that he's been tricked, the word usually means mocked, by the wise men, and becomes furious. The Coventry Carol describes his raging. Another well-known account of this episode from a different carol, Unto Us is Born a Son, puts it like this. This did Herod sore affray, and grievously bewilder. And so, Matthew tells us, Herod sent and killed all the male children in Bethlehem and in all that region who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he ascertained from the wise men. In his rage, Herod slew the little children. This event is sometimes known as the Massacre of the Innocents. It's the theme of the 16th century English lullaby Coventry Carol, which is sung from the perspective of the grieving mothers of Bethlehem. Church traditions have sometimes vastly overestimated the number of boys killed. One account puts it at 144,000. In fact, based on the probable population of Bethlehem and its region in Jesus' day, the number was most likely under 20. Nevertheless, we can only begin to imagine the cost to a small community of such an evil order, and the profound sense of loss and betrayal and helplessness faced by each victim's family. This is a sobering story. Its presence at the heart of the Bible's Christmas narrative is a stark reminder of both the darkness of a sinful world and the particular malice that's always been directed towards Jesus Christ by those who hate him. Most listeners to this series, I guess, will face a relatively comfortable Christmas, perhaps untroubled by life-threatening persecution. But the same can't be said for many of our Christian brothers and sisters around the world this Christmas. Where is hope to be found? Even in the midst of the deepest darkness, there are glimmers of light. For a start, Herod the persecutor is himself very soon dead. God does not leave the guilty unpunished. There are echoes here of the judgment of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, who once, if you remember, tried to kill all the sons of Israel, but in the end lost his own firstborn son, and faced the double humiliation of the defeat of his army and destruction of his land. At the same time as the evil usurper is removed, Jesus the Saviour is preserved. God's salvation plan cannot be thwarted, even by the worst human evil. Again, there are echoes of the Old Testament. In 2 Kings, we find the account of the evil queen Athaliah, who arose and destroyed all the royal family of Judah. This massacre put the survival of David's dynasty in peril. How would the promise of God be fulfilled? The answer came through the protection of one young boy and David's rightful heir, King Joash, who was hidden in the temple for 6 years until Athaliah was herself killed. In a similar way, God did not allow Jesus to suffer direct harm until that harm was necessary for the rescue of his people. The traditional music for the Coventry Carol, which I hope you'll listen to after this, is written appropriately, given the solemnity of its theme, in the minor key. Yet the final line of each stanza finishes with a so-called Picardy third. That's a major chord of the tonic. The effect is musically striking. It evokes a sense of surprisingly satisfying resolution. So although the words of the carol conclude with woe, as the mothers of Bethlehem mourn, like the Bible, the music lifts the eyes of the sorrowful and the hearts of the faithful to the hope that is found in Jesus the Saviour.